grow your organization. Prospecting usually doesn't cost any money. It costs a lot of time. And that's where you're going to get your best, cost ratio. Look at the second bullet point right there. When you continually lead with expenses instead of forcing the business to generate its own income, what often comes is a total loss. We don't want that for your guys' business. We don't want it for our business. And surprisingly, one of the things I love about our company is our market center, the way it operates is based off the same fundamental principles that we are training you guys to run your real estate businesses. So we don't lead with expenses. We lead with revenue, and we want to make sure that we're monitoring our expenses. The last bullet point there, generate revenue in your real estate business that will in turn fund the growth of your business. Cindy, you just said track things. So guys, tell me how are you tracking all of your closings? What are you tracking and how are you tracking?
CTE.
Okay, good. CTE is an excellent platform to use that. What else?
Can I just say that CTE is also at no cost to the agent if someone is interested in it?
Perfect. CTE stands for?
CTE.
Commitment to excellence, I think.
There you go.
And a lot of our teams use CTE to help track revenue, there's a lot of gauges in that program. So that's great. Thanks, Cindy. And I think, was that Patrick?
And Patrick, yeah.
Yeah, perfect. Thought I recognized that voice. Who else? Some of you other guys that have been in the business a while, how are you tracking, like when a closing comes through, how are you tracking? Where did the lead come from? What lead generation lever brought it? How are you doing it?
I use Buffini CRM, which has all of the algorithms that you put all of your pipeline in, you put all of your deals that are in escrow, and then you put in all your closings, and they actually track your commissions and where the leads came from.
Good. Excellent. So,
and it's all also available in Command now.
Excellent.
Yes, it is.
Wonderful. And so,
yeah, I'm using Command.
Not a command push or anything else, but the biggest and most important piece is use something. You do not want to get to the end of the year and have had 12, 24, or 36 closings and go, where'd they come from? That's going to be trouble because you're not going to know where to invest your money to bring you better results. Does that make sense? It's a principle of business, right? You need to know where your clients are coming from. Any questions about leading with revenue? Are you guys pumped and excited about going and slashing your expenses and making sure that you're running a profitable business? I see.
I think it's important, Jay, if I could just say along with you that we've had a pretty interesting year. COVID has done something to our lives that hasn't happened in this generation. I know they wore gas masks back in the 40s, when they were afraid during the war and stuff, 40s and that era. But we haven't had this kind of upset in our nation, I don't think, in generations. And so it's got to have affected business in some way. And so how is it affecting your business? It's mid-year. It's time to review your budget. It's time to recalculate. It's time to see if some of your revenue has shifted and and the only reason I'm saying this is because I have to do it at the market center level. I pull all of the expenses from January to June, and then I go in and adjust the budget so that I can see if we're staying in, if we're spending more. I know one thing, our electric bill dropped tremendously during the month of March and April. It went from at KLP, it went from like $1,100 a month to $600. So that was a huge savings for us, but we were closed. So closed to the public. So how has it affected your business and your budget? And now is a really good time to reassess that and look at what your goals were last year and where you're getting at this halfway point in the year. It's a good time to reassess.
I would agree, but don't be lulled to sleep. So I'm going to read a couple of numbers from our lure report, which we'll get to. Cindy, can we gussy this up and get it out to all of our agencies either via Facebook or email? But sure. Just things that come off the top of my head, the MLS for the month of May through May year to date, closed units were down 31.7%. So that's the MLS. We were up 12.4%. listings taken down 21.56 with the MLS. We were up 2.3. So, hey, it's opportune time. I know looking at many of you guys are incredible busy. Go get the business. It is out there. Now's the best time for you guys to go get the business. All right, we got off track. Number 2, please. Boom. Play red light, green light. It sounds very simple, right? Red light. When costs creep up with no results, stop it. When the costs are within budget, go. How do we know?
I got this from Bold. You kind of have to rate your expenses like A, B, or C.
Right.
You rate A like they're like 100% necessity for your business. B are like things that are good to have. And C are the things that are just completely unnecessary and you kick them out. So it was like a good idea to go through all your expenses and just do that. So you can kind of play red light, green light with things that are not really necessary and some of the things that are.
That's exactly what we've got to do. But you can't do that unless you're going through it, right? So that's where I see in the attachments, thank you, Kayla, the personal budget worksheet. Print that out, print a few copies of it out and label them per month. And as you start to delve through your bank statement, both your business and your personal, you're going to uncover. Did anyone, when they were walking through that process in Bold, what kind of results did you find? Anyone willing to stand up and say, I found X dollars and cut? Nobody did it. That makes me
I'll jump in. Yeah, it absolutely is a process that everyone should do. And you mentioned it, but I'll mention it again, not only on the business account, but also on the personal account, because you'll be surprised what you find in your personal account that really isn't business related. And of course, it's not going to end up on the business worksheet, but you really be surprised what you find.
Yep, I would agree. Someone else was talking as well?
I just evaluated a couple different avenues that was lead generation sources. One wasn't producing, one is, so I got rid of the one that wasn't producing and saved a couple $100.
There you go. That's exactly how it works. So now, did you take that couple hundred and did you reinvest to the one that was producing?
It's not due yet, but I am going to continue it. It's due in August. Mm-hmm.
So maybe there's where the red light, green light comes on. I think when we talk about it, people just see red light, like stop spending. That's not the case. You have to spend money. In fact, the budget model says that if you're not spending money, if you don't have expenses, then you're probably short-sighting your career. Like you could be growing at a faster pace. We just have to make sure that investment is bringing about a return. That's the biggest piece. All right, can you go back to the slideshow? Red light, green light. Use this personal budget worksheet. I'm telling you, you'll find. I heard agents talking about finding $300 a month, here where they save. I personally called because I heard many people talk about it. I called my phone company, my cell phone company, and just said, hey, I've been paying you guys too much. What can you do? And they're like, we could save you $50 a month by moving you to a different plan. It was a phone call. I mean, it's out there if you're taking a look at it, right? Any questions about red light, green light? Nope. And next slide then, please. Thank you, Kayla. Last thing, stick to the budget. How many of you guys actually have a business budget? Can I see a quick, show of hands? Okay, good. Amber. Way to go, Amber Harvey. Who else? You guys got a business budget. It's hard to stick to a business budget if you don't have a business budget. So if that's something that you would like help with, we would be glad to sit down and she would be glad to sit down with you. That is her job, right? She loves to sit with agents and figure out how to make more money. So here's the budget.
Part of my job, Jay.
And you can see across the top line. So depending on what kind of area, what kind of business size, GCI wise, you can see kind of what the study brought about. And my understanding is in the MREA2, these are not drastically different. The numbers are still pretty close to the same. So use these as a model for how are you doing. So if you're running $150,000 in GCI, you're actually probably going to come in under cost of sales, maybe not, depending on, if you're doing a lot of referrals or not. Seeing your gross profit, seeing your expense line and your net income. 49% profit is a great business, correct? Anybody run another business? I was in the restaurant business for a long period of time. I understand that's a great profit margin for your business, but you guys have to treat it as a business. You're going to have some expenses. You're investing into your company. Anyone have any questions regarding this slide? Anything stand out? I don't think they have any questions, Cindy.
What is COS, Jay?
Cost of sales. Thank you, Cindy. Cost of sales. So that's your cap. That's if you were paying any referral fees, that's where that number comes from. Also, if you have, depending on if you have a team and you're paying your buyer's agent, seller's agent, that amount of money would go in there as well. Your expenses, you can think of it this way. Anything that you have to pay to do business is cost of sales. Expenses or anything else, really.
Jay, I'll also say that I know Aaron teaches about Profit First by Mike Michalowicz. That's a really good book and it's worth reading. That actually teaches you to operate your business on a 30% expense for operating expenses. 50% goes to owner's compensation, and the other 20% is for taxes and a profit hold.
Yeah.
So if you can operate on 30%, you can get even leaner. Then that's a pretty good book to pick up as well.
Yep. Yeah, that's great. And we've actually had that conversation that we may be coming back around to get that taught again. So stay tuned for an update about Aaron teaching Profit First. What other questions did you guys have? What does this do for you? Can I call on one of you guys? Is that okay? Can I call on you, Emily Erickson, since you're my buddy? So when you guys, I know you said you guys have a budget. How often do you evaluate? Oh, she's on the phone. So sorry, Emily. That's what happens when you call on someone. Somebody else speak up. What happens when you're evaluating your budget?
Jay?
Yeah.
This is Donna.
Donna Reed in the house.
Yeah, and she's got wet hair and just out of the shower, so thus not on screen. So, for me, you and I have talked a little bit about this, right? You know, we went through my profit and loss, and the reason I asked, I like the screenshot, is it kind of shows if you're goal setting, where you're at.
Yeah.
Okay, this is where I am. This is kind of where I want to be. What do those numbers look like? But also, I think it's important for individual agents to know that those numbers could vary.
Yes.
For you as an individual agent, because you don't have all the overhead that a rainmaker or a team leader has for a large, team, and you may not be advertising in 50 places. And this, going through this with you recently and listening to Aaron and some of the others, I really have taken a look at the fact that I get 95% of my business from referrals. I know Sean, Edgar, you and I have, we the same way. She's the same way. So is it worth me spending money on A, B, or C when in fact, history in 15 years has shown me that doesn't bring me anything?
Yeah.
And so I really have honed in, and I don't think I ever overspent. This is just, it made me analyze it more.
Yeah. Can we speak to that, Donna? So Donna and I sat down and really poked through her P&L.
Uh-huh.
And I just asked her questions. Did you feel like I was judging you in any way, Donna?
No, not at all. No.
So if you're interested as an agent and you need help kind of walking through your P&L, you just want an extra set of eyes that understand the business and want to see you make more money, take advantage of myself or Cindy. We would be glad to walk through with you and just go, okay, so you're spending this, what did this bring in return? And just help you analyze where you're at and see if you can make more money.
Don't you have a background, Jay, in accounting?
My degree, my bachelor's is in financial management and human resource management.
So financial management, Andy has a heart. Way to go.
And we're available. Surprisingly enough, your staff, your broker staff here wants you to make more money. We really do. So we want, because that's going to make you happier and loving our brokerage. So make use of us. Cindy, can I volunteer you for that? I know that you said you love to do that. She may be gone. Cindy has an MBA. She's quite, she is capable of helping you analyze your business.
Thank you, Jay. Yes, I'm still here. I haven't left.
So I know that that's one of the things you said that you really love to do and want to do more, which is help our agents understand their financials.
Yes.
Perfect. Excellent. So use this. Thanks, Dan. Dan posted something in the chat box. We want to help you. So let us help you. Let's schedule a time. We'll sit down. You bring your P&L. I like to have a little time so I can kind of highlight some things and poke through it, and then we'll have a conversation, and maybe it will help you realize how you can make more money. So.
And if you're new to running your own business, so I know a lot of times someone will transition from being a trading time for money person to becoming an independent contractor real estate agent. And there's a lot that goes with that besides just learning the real estate side of the business. So if you're new to budgeting, if you're new to, and like the term P&L makes no sense to you, if you don't even have a budget set up, if you have no idea how to track your expenses, then that's where we're really going to be able to assist you. Some of you have been doing it for years, and it's still always good to have a third eye on it. So we're happy to do that for you. But don't be intimidated if you don't have a budget. Don't be intimidated if you don't know what your expenses are or where your money comes from. You know, if you're that agent that calls and wants to know where your production is for the year, that kind of thing, if you're not tracking those kinds of things, let us help you do that.
Absolutely. Well said, Cindy. All right, next slide. There's a natural rhythm for budgeting. So examine your books at least once a month, keep a monthly budget, address it on a weekly basis. That's important because if you let it go and then suddenly, you know, something happens at the end of the month, well, then it's 2 months. Things can get a little out of whack, and you can lose money that you don't want to lose. And then you're going to look for variances and analyze while you're off. So every month we have a variance worksheet, so we know what our budget is, and we enter every expense that we spend in the market center into this worksheet, every single one. And that way David can look through this one sheet and go, okay, we're over budget here. Why? Okay, well, we spent $200 extra on such and such. Okay. And we can have that conversation, you know, why did we do it? Did it bring value? You know, all those things that we can decide right then. Click. We're not going to do that moving forward. That's great. Let's continue. Let's revisit adding to our budget next year to cover that amount. Does that make sense? There is a natural rhythm for that. And right now we're kind of entering that second part of the year. Now's a good time for you to look at 2020 2.0, figuring out what you're going to do July through December with your budget. All right, next slide. We talked about the MRE budget category. So cost of sales, we always say is 30%. If you are an individual agent, just as Donna was saying, you're actually a lot lower than that. So that's just going to add money to your bottom line. This is straight out of the MREA. You can go to the next slide, please. Yeah, go ahead and go to the next slide. So here's the budget categories. Go back one real quick. So one of the practices that you'll see that the files that we put into the chat box was the categories. And one of, I didn't realize until I was really reading the MREA, and I was like, that makes sense. So they suggest using these account numbers and categories, not because they want to squash your creativity or make you more painful. They really want it so you can go, hey, here's my P&L. Let me look at this other team or individual's P&L. And you can go quickly to apples. Okay, where if they're doing twice as much GCI but they're doing it with very little, not much more expense. How? Where are they spending that money? That's our company. We want to help each other, right? Our culture is such that if an agent is excelling in an area and they've got this thing figured out, they are more than apt to share. So if at all possible, with all your resources, use the MREA budget categories. Okay, next slide. The big two expenses that you're going to be paying if you're running a team are salaries and lead generation. Again, that's for running a team. The lovely thing I see about that is if you're an individual agent, obviously you're not having the salaries or compensation, but we're able to reduce your lead generation cost. I mean, thank you, Jesse, for pointing that out. 51 cents. So I helped an agent run an ad. We received 39 leads for 20 bucks, 51 cents. I was talking to some agents from outside our brokerage. This has leveled the playing field for individual agents where you can go and lead generate at a higher level and not spend the amount of money that teams spend on lead generation. So that's exciting. Any questions on that or any questions so far? Next slide, please. Total income. This is the budget model. 30% cost of sales, 30% expenses, 40% net income. Now, again, this is the millionaire real estate model. So this is for you to net $1 million, which means you're going to have a whole different organization, right? This is the model. If you're an independent agent, you're probably going to be lower than this. Your cost of sales may be 15%. Operating expenses could be lower, and that adds another, you're running 55%. Maybe 70%. I've seen 70% with some individual agents. You just got to make sure that you're watching what you spend and keeping track of that. And then last slide. I believe that's the last slide. Boom. Exactly what I thought. All right, last second. Questions, comments. If you want to sign up to do a P&L inspection, you can email me or you can email Cindy. And we would be glad to schedule a time to meet with you guys. Anybody have anything they want to bring to the table before I let you guys go? Told you I'd get you out early. I'm like that substitute teacher. Woo! Anything else? All right, Cindy, do you have anything? Or Lisa?
Jay, actually, we were wondering if Becky could say something. She was able to get on the call from Intraland.
Yep.
Are you available to just make a little update about Intraland?
Yep. Will you wrap up after her?
I sure will.
Hi, everybody. How's it going?
Great.
Awesome. So Intraland is getting busier. I have about 20 folks or so that have been sent over through Fast Track. And I'm trying to do my best to stay up to date with making contacts and getting hold of all of the clients and then letting everyone know where they're at exactly with the process. So as far as I can tell, everything is going really good. We have the first loan submitted in now to the lender, and everything's going forward very well.
Thank you, Becky.
Yay.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do they get a hold of you if they are interested in using Intraland?
My cell phone's probably the easiest way. I hope that my number is accessible to everybody. I guess if it's not, we can make it so that it is. I don't know if
Kayla can probably put that in the chat.
do you want me to post it? Yeah, I was just going to say I could post it in the chat here. And
then if someone has, are you better with text message, voicemail? What's your preference?
I do all the above. It doesn't matter.
Awesome.
I'm easy to get along with here.
If you're interested in working with Becky and using Intraland and finding out more about it, please reach out to her, give her a call or text, and I know she will get back to you and help you. We've heard great things so far about the assistance that she's been providing to agents and their families, buyers and sellers. So thank you, Becky.
Sure.
All right, that's it, everybody. Thanks for a great meeting, and we will see you all again next week. Actually, this afternoon's the ALC meeting. Everyone is welcome to attend if you're interested. The ALC will be getting together and reviewing the financials of the market centers and discussing, you know, the directions that we're going with COVID and everything. So if you're interested, that link is on 1kwsa.com, and you are certainly welcome to join. Thank you so much. Have a great day.
Thanks.